So when you go camping, there's really two different types of campgrounds you can go to. There is regular campgrounds and dispersed camping. Regular campgrounds generally, can cost anywhere from $20 or $10 a day to even, the really expensive ones that are $130 or $150 a day. It's an insane number. I generally like doing the littler campgrounds that are about $15 a day, or 15 or 20, because they have decent amenities, nice picnic tables, good areas. You're still away from everybody, and they just seem really nice areas. And there's also dispersed campgrounds. TheDirt.com is a really good website to find dispersed campsites, because you can enter in their free camping and do a lot of filtering. Then you can find where these dispersed campsites are. Dispersed campsites are nice because, of course, they're free. They're also away from everybody else, so it's a nice, you're really in the wilderness when you're dispersed camping. Some of the bad things are you really are by yourself, so you can feel a little unsafe out there. Another thing is you don't get dedicated fire rings. You don't get a picnic table, and when you're at a regular campsite, a picnic table is pretty nice because you can do a lot of things on a picnic table. It's set up, everything you can, it's nice to have a big giant table for everybody to get around. So some more benefits of camping at a campground is most of the time you're near town, so you can go to town and get things like toilet paper, beer, whatever you need to get. Generally you're going to be near a town. Not always, but most of the time you are. Another thing is they have toilets. Most campgrounds have a toilet, so even a shower. So that's kind of nice to have that there. Most of them have firewood, so you don't have to chop up your own firewood. You can just, it does cost, but you can go buy a thing of firewood when you're there. The locations that you're going to be setting up are all flat. They all are, they're made for your tent or your RV when you get there. So that's a big plus, because you don't have to worry about trying to find that perfect spot. It's already perfect for you. Campgrounds also have great locations, so a lot of these campsites are prime for nice springs, hot springs, lakes, rivers, dams, just mountain areas. They know what the prime real estate is, and they find it and make a campsite there. So that's a big plus for campgrounds. The cons are you're closer to your neighbors. That's probably the biggest con, and it kind of depends on which campground you're going to. So there are some campgrounds that are pretty separated away from your neighbors. They're not going to be completely separated, so you're still going to get a little bit of noise, but they most of them, a lot of them are so compact with each other. It depends if there's a lot of amenities and they're close to town. They have a million pools, a whole bunch of things. Then they're going to be jammed, back to back. No trees separating you from your neighbor. So like I said, there's pluses and minuses of it. If you want the more wilderness style, what I generally do is when I'm looking to get out in the woods, more wilderness, I find a campground that's low cost, so lower on the cost, like $20 or something, and does not have electric. And what that does is it actually runs away a lot of the RVers, and it makes them the RV sites more available because there's no electric. A lot of RVers want that electric, and if you have solar setup, you don't need it. They're more separated, in the woods, a little bit more away from your neighbor. So that's a pretty big benefit to find the one that's no electric and cheaper. So the benefits of dispersed camping are it's quiet. That's probably the biggest benefit. It's quiet. You don't hear anything because there is nobody around. You can really hear the nature, so that's a huge benefit. There is nobody around, there's nobody there, so you are in the woods by yourself, which, like I said, that's kind of nice. That's the reason why you want to get out there, to disconnect, get away from everything, and that's a really good benefit of dispersed camping. Another benefit is it's free. That's a big benefit, because when you're spending 5-6 nights out there, and even a medium cost campsite is $30, you're spending $150, easy, camping, which isn't super bad, but if you go to one of those fancy ones, you're spending a ton of money. So free is always good. Some of the disadvantages are bugs. When you're dispersed camping, there is no, they're not treating the area for bugs, so there's going to be quite a few more bugs. It also depends on where you're going. If you're in the mountain areas or not. You just kind of get to know your campground areas and the seasons, so you can kind of work your way around the bug issue, dealing with which season you're going to which areas. A lot of times the dispersed camping is hard to find a site. These sites are, they're dispersed camping. You drive right by and you don't even see them, because they're in the middle of the woods. You don't see them. So sometimes they're hard to find, these dispersed camping sites. The ground's not level on a lot of these sites. The ground's not level, and that's just because it's not a prepped area. It's the woods, so you kind of got to dig around and find a good spot that you can, if you're dispersed camping with an RV, you got to hunt around and find that spot, set it up. Another big disadvantage is you are alone. You're alone in the middle of the woods. So, if you mess up and you cut wood and cut your arm, and you could die in the middle of the woods. So you got to think about that. If you're going to be doing something dangerous, think twice before you do it, because you are in the middle of the woods with nobody around. And town could be hour away. So just remember that you are away from everybody. If you're at a campsite, at least if you cut yourself, there's somebody really close by. Chances are they can help you out. So that's probably one of the biggest disadvantages of camping in a dispersed campsite. And like I said, thedirt.com. This is a great site for finding dispersed campsites. There's a lot of people that feed the information in here, and you can go in here and find the details, and it's customer related. So I can dig deep into here, and I can see this, the stars or what it's rated at, and like 15-mile campground. This one's costs, but here's a overnight. Here's a dispersed one, so you can see the stars. You can actually read the reviews on it. This is probably my favorite one for camping on dispersed. If I'm camping at a campground, probably rvlife.com is the campsite tool I'll use for camping at a campground. But like I said, this is the dirt. Good site for finding dispersed camping. Well, that wraps it up for this one. If you like what I'm doing here, please like and subscribe, because you all make this possible, and we'll see you next episode.